Why, hello there. It is 80 days until Elden Ring comes out on February 25th, 2022, and this is the Elden Ring Countdown, where today we will be talking about a new Elden Ring tweet and another item description to make the wait for Elden Ring just a little bit shorter. Let's get into it. First up, we have our new Elden Ring tweet, and it says, "The ceaseless harvest of flesh through Limgrave has left the land thirsty for vengeance against the Grafted king." And we have a picture of Godrick accompanying it with his name plastered over the front of the image, as they've been doing lately. And man, Godrick, my guy, things are getting out of hand. Godrick is a betrayer who probably stole control of Stormvale from this lion-adorned badass, maybe for a great rune, and now he is using this power to graft everyone in sight onto him. Men will literally harvest their whole domain for limbs to compensate for being born a weakling instead of going to therapy. I know Godrick has a lot to live up to, but Martin and From will have a lot of work if they are to get a prepare to cry. He is not sympathetic at all right now. And what I think is cool about this quote that I hope plays into the gameplay is that everyone seems to hate Godrick for good reason, and it'll be interesting to see NPCs and get dialogue and see what game mechanics sort of play into this narrative of, wresting Godrick from power and sort of the fallout from that, because he's not well liked and people want to get him out of there, and I'm curious to see how that plays into actually playing through the game beyond just beating the boss. And regarding the recent Elden Ring tweets, I know TGA is in 2 days now, so there may be more to work with following the presentation on Thursday. But I was thinking about what other images realistically do they have to do this format of proper noun over an image at this point. All I could really think of was a Gil, unless they're going to pull out minor NPCs and bosses and show off images of them as well. Otherwise, they'll need to show off something new. Let me know in the comments if you think anyone else that we've seen is worthy of getting their name plastered over an image of them for the topic of an Elden Ring tweet. And I'd also like to hear any ideas people have over what could make Godrick sympathetic. Like, yes, he was born a weakling and he coveted the power of his kin, but he's done some bad stuff. Grafting your whole community onto you is weird, and it's hard to imagine him being sympathetic, but maybe you guys have some ideas. So now let's get into the item description for today, and it is the final Carian item description. And it is about the Carian Piercer. And the Carian Piercer item description says, "A glintstone sorcery used by the enchanted knights who served the Carian royal family. Forms a magic sword to impale one's foes. This sorcery increases in power when charged up. Blades of pure moonlight epitomize the protection the moon grants to Caria." But we have here a glintstone sorcery used by the Carian knights. And they use blades of pure moonlight which epitomize the protection the moon grants to Caria. So we have a lunar queen who anoints the Carian knights, and the moon grants protection to Caria. But we also know that the Carian royal family declined. So what happened to that protection? I see a few elements at play. For one, the Carian royal family could have simply faltered. Even though having the moon protect you seems like a solid defense, there are a lot of powerful forces at work in this world. Another element to consider is that the Elden Ring is
that which commanded the stars, giving life its fullest brilliance.
If the Elden Ring commands the stars, it is not a stretch to say that the power of the Elden Ring has domain over other celestial bodies, like the moon. And with the Elden Ring shattered, who knows who controls the reins now? And finally, another idea I have is that talking about the March leaked investor trailer again, so scurry away, skip forward if you don't want to see this. This Omnioji looking lady, who could be the Lunar Queen, is wearing Raya Lucaria robes after all, and it seems that Raya Lucaria has lost their way. She may not be the Lunar Queen, she may be someone with Raya Lucaria, and perhaps the protection of the moon that was granted to Caria was sidestepped or the power was wrestled from Caria, bringing about their decline. Ultimately, we don't really know right now, but it is fun to keep in mind as we approach release, and especially when we find ourselves creeping through whatever remains of Caria. So there you have it, the Glintstone Sorcery Carian Piercer for day 80, and it was one of my favorite spells from the network test, really liked it, and has some cool lore to round up our Caria block. Tomorrow we will be starting to talk about the Crucible armor, which we'll get into Ordovis, and we'll talk about Godfrey a little bit, which should be fun. So look forward to that. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like. And if you want more item descriptions and more lore content about Elden Ring after release, consider subscribing to the Lore Hunter. Thanks for watching.